Can you read me stories?
I just did.
And now it's time for story time with Uncle Mike. Welcome to the Empire. It's the Eskimo Empire podcast.
Here's Mike Riley, takes the drop, waits and throws, and he's going deep downfield. And Darius Bowman. Oh my goodness, what a catch by Darius Bowman. You won't see many better than that. Franklin to Zylstra, touchdown Eskimos. Pressure's coming. Oh, Levi Mitchell goes down. There's a big play for the defense. Somersaults for everybody.
Welcome back to the Turf District for episode 88 of the Eskimo Empire podcast. I am your host, Andrew, and thank you for downloading and having a listen. Lots on the show tonight as we cover the recent Esks news, some CFL news, another Esks History segment, the final round of Esks by the Numbers, and we are joined by an amazing featured fan, and we will catch up with Christina Litz from the CFL on the Bring It In campaign. But first, to my immediate left, back in the Turf District, as always, it is Pseudo-Fan Mike.
Oh, yeah, we're just going with that, are we?
I loved it. But I can't remember who said it, but it really made me laugh.
Oh, dear.
Superfan Mike.
Ooh, the new tickets are here. The new tickets are here.
The new tickets are here. I love them. And they look lovely.
Yeah, they look pretty good, eh?
I'm really a big fan of this One Empire thing.
I don't know why.
Me neither, but it's pretty cool. I'm excited about it, man. We had a big Esks week this week. We met with Cliff from the Eskimos on
communications
Wednesday.
Manager, yeah.
Yep. And sounds like we might have a little bit of access to some players this year.
Yeah,
so
that's
things
very
are
exciting.
slowly changing, which that's very exciting. And Cliff is a super nice guy. It was really nice to meet with him, and sounds like we're going to have a really fun time working with him. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like you said, nice guy. He's from Winnipeg, but we still like him.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's good.
It's not Saskatchewan.
No, well, exactly. We do have that mutual hatred of the rectangle, so
that's right. Yeah,
that keeps us warm at night.
So the enemy of my enemy is my friend?
Yes,
that's
exactly right.
Okay, just checking.
But as you say, having access to current players is going to be great for the podcast. So.
Yeah, it'll be nice to have a chat with those guys for sure. So then, of course, we had the big Esks Alumni Wine Fest on Saturday.
Yeah, I don't remember any of that.
No kidding. We talked to some people.
Did we?
I don't know. There was a lot of wine. It was tasty. I really, really liked that one. That's for sure. No, it was actually really good, and we got a good chance to catch up with Andrew Jones was there, which we got to talk to him, which was fantastic. We got a chance to talk with
Joe McGrath.
Eric Orca.
Dermott.
I guess you want to call him Orca.
Eric Upton.
Eric Upton. Blake Dermott. And, of course, our new board member, Mr. Tom Richards. So
yeah, very exciting to have Tom on the board.
Yeah, and it was nice just to hear his perspective, too, right? So he's got so many angles between business and all these types of things. So I'm excited to have him there.
That's the first thing they need on the board is a business experience and business acumen. The fact that he is a former player does bring a different perspective to the board. He is the, I think, 8th former player to be on the board, but the first one since Don Giddy in 71. So it's been a long gap.
Wow, he really wrecked it back then.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, after that, never again. Exactly. But now they're all gone. So
now
forgot.
Now we're good. Okay.
Those that fail to learn from history are doomed to repeat it.
Then, of course, on top of that, like you said, we got the tickets, and we have a new record holder in downloads in the Andrew Nowacki episode. So that's awesome because this is episode 88, so I figured I had to mention it once again. Exactly. So, and hey, it's all about the Andrew. We know that.
It's all about Andrew Jones, Andrew Nowacki.
Yeah.
Some other Andrew.
You're missing one. Okay, fine. All right, let's get to our guest. She's been sitting here waiting so patiently. New featured fan, back here to tell us all about her love of the Eskimos. It is Kayla. And as I keep calling her on everything else, Kaylee, but it is Kayla, Duchess Lombardi on Twitter. Thank you for coming into the Turf District.
It's my alias. So you can keep the Kaylee up.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, all right.
AKA.
AKA, all these types of things. So, hey, I mean, we do want to talk about the team, but we want to get a little bit of information about you first, as introduce you to everybody. So, who introduced you to football, and when did you start going to games?
Well, the Eskimos is a little later.
Okay.
Football was high school. I hated it at first. I thought it was stupid.
Nice.
Because I was hockey, right? I was
Right.
like, go Oilers, go.
Right.
But, high school, your hormones, you see a guy, you like him, and then you're like, oh, I'll just go to this game because I'm interested. And then you watch the game and you realize this is pretty sick. And then
Yeah.
you just keep going and going. And then, instead of doing math in the class, your friends are teaching you like game strategy and stuff. And your teacher walks by and is like, what kind of formulas are those? And you're just like,
Football 101.
yeah.
X's and O's.
Exactly. And then it just kind of became like, going to some games with some friends after work, whatever. But I really got into it probably about 8 years ago.
Nice.
Or so.
Nice.
So, and it's been about 4 or 5 years that I haven't missed a game, home game.
Awesome.
So
Fantastic.
finally decided to take the plunge and become a season ticket holder after.
Well
Is this your
done.
first year as a season ticket holder?
Yes, yeah.
Well, that is very exciting.
Welcome to the club.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I have a little bit of a commitment phobia, so I was like, well, okay, I've obviously I'm a big fan. I come every friggin' year, so I might as well just get season tickets. It's cheaper.
Save some money and consistency.
Exactly.
That's awesome. Have you ever been to a Grey Cup?
I haven't. No,
Oh.
no. I'm hoping we win the bid over
Yeah.
Calgary because who wants to go to McMahon? Like, that's
I guess some
horrible.
Stamp fans, but
Somebody
It's a
has to.
horrible stadium.
it's old. Let's
It's
be
old.
fair. It's,
Yeah.
But I have only sat like in the upper, so I didn't get
Right.
the pleasure of the actual seats. But
Yeah.
when you sit there, you're like squished in,
Yeah.
and you got people like kicking you.
Even in the seats, it's the same thing.
Is
Yeah.
it real?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
okay,
pretty
okay.
squishy.
So
Yeah.
just as a facility, let's do Edmonton.
Okay. I like the way she
Well,
thinks.
I'll second that vote.
Absolutely. I third it.
Yes,
Done.
there you go.
Where's the gavel?
Bang.
Okay. Jeez, that's loud. Okay.
So you were telling us on the Periscope that you're sitting over on the east side in Section O now. So
Yeah.
what's your favorite part about going to the games?
Unleashing the beast.
Nice.
Yeah.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah. Just being able to cheer, like, especially in Section O, right? Like, you can just completely tear it up without being like, there's kids around, Because I don't generally drop some bombs, but, when there's some really bad refs out there, sometimes it just slips out. And I always tell my mom prior to the games that, I'm sorry, Mom, you know what's going to happen. I'm sorry, but sometimes it just slips. So just going all out cheering, having a
Yeah.
good time.
Does your mom go with you?
Sometimes, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, try to rope her in. I try to brainwash my family. It's
Excellent.
slowly working, but I got my cousin on board to
Nice.
do the season tickets with me, so...
cool.
Yeah, there's one family member down.
Excellent.
And a
Yeah.
few more to go.
And a
but
few more to go,
that's all
yeah,
right.
yeah.
This is what the Eskimos are looking for. It's young people that are trying to
Bring
bring
it
people
in.
to games. That's right. Bring it in. Exactly. One empire. Who's your favorite player on the team right now?
Right now, the position's open, guys.
Oh, well.
I was...
I like how you got closer to that. That's good.
I was diehard Fred Stamps fan, so
Sure.
it was pretty hard to let him go, and I don't think I've been able to fill that spot quite yet, but James Franklin, you're closer, and you're number 2 now.
I was
so
going to say, number
Yeah.
two.
yeah,
Number
Yeah.
yeah, big shoes to fill, but no, I like the kid. He's
Yeah.
awesome, and Brandon Zylstra.
Oh,
and
good
Brian
choice.
Mitchell.
Yeah.
Brian Mitchell, I wish he would have played a little bit more last year. I saw him at training camp last year, and I was really impressed by him. So,
Yeah, so were we.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a good talk with him, just a Twitter talk with him just the other day, and he is motivated to get there this year.
That's
and
awesome.
I'm like, dude, if you get that team, I think your jersey might be next on my back because
Yeah.
I really like the way he plays.
Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, but Franklin, that's an okay pick.
Really? That jersey kind of threw me off in the back.
I know
there.
it's surprising, right? Like,
Oh, Jimmy Deuce. Oh, yeah, we can turn that off. Nice.
there we go. Ah, now
My retina. They're around.
What are those?
I
Okay.
don't know. So, do you have any really cool Eskimo things at home? I mean, obviously you got the sweater and the scarf is awesome, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I got the bell, the stupid foam hand. I never use it; just sits at my house, but it looks
what it's
pretty
good for.
cool. My football, my one and only football that's signed by Fred Stamps. It's retired and on display, but that
Very
is
awesome.
the only guy who's ever going to sign that ball.
Nice.
Jerseys, apparel, all that good stuff. I got to get a few more things. Hats are my thing. I collect hats, so.
But there's obviously
Nice.
3 right
Yeah,
there.
there's 3, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so.
What jerseys do you have? Do you have numbers on them? Or?
I have not committed to a number.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Yeah.
Again, it's open.
It
It's
is
open.
open. It
Yeah.
is open.
Yeah, Bryant, she's looking at you. All right, that's good. like he listens every week, of course. Now, you were able to attend the Esks Women's Dinner last week.
Yeah.
So tell us about that whole experience and kind of what it was like.
It was really nice just to be with a bunch of women who, if anything, appreciate a little bit of football. If not, just going there for some charity as well, and sticking up for the women with ovarian cancer and all that good stuff. But honestly, just to be in the presence of like beautiful women who love maybe not the game but the community. So
Awesome.
it was a good experience. It's always great to get all fancy and gorgeous, but to have it in a masculine world, I don't think I've ever felt so empowered.
Awesome.
Nice.
To be in this gorgeous dress and watch midget football. Like I was like with a glass of champagne in my hand. Like that was awesome. It was a lot
Very
of fun.
cool.
Yeah.
Was that your first time going through the locker room?
Yeah.
What did you think?
It was pretty cool. It would have been cooler if the players were there, you know what I mean?
We all say that. Yeah, exactly.
You're just like, oh, cool name. Empty seat. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I mean, Matt O'Donnell was there, but he kind of blended in because he's very short.
Oh, yeah,
very
you-
short.
yeah.
Yeah. He
barely
did-
tell he's there.
Yeah.
Such a mouse in a group. Yeah.
That was a pole, not a man. Yeah.
Exactly. Speaking of look up, look way up.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
Oh
exactly.
my goodness, Rusty and Jerome.
Last thing I want to ask about that was I know there was the silent auction. Were you able to get anything from that, or did you go through some of the items, or what was going
I
on?
did, yeah. I saw a few things, but I bid on the ring, of course. So we
yes.
pitched in for the ring, and well, it's still empty.
Still
so
empty. Okay. Yeah.
It didn't go to me, but it went to a lovely older lady. So I was like, okay,
Awesome.
I'll relinquish.
Yeah.
Scared to ask what older is at this point, but
Yeah, me too.
I would say
Yeah.
mid-70s.
okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
that is
yeah,
older. Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
As far as
fair
I'm
enough.
concerned,
That's-
older is 10 or 15 years older than me, no matter what age I am. So
That's very true. So that lady just squeaked in, eh?
Yeah.
just under the wire.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
She was a little older than me.
It's a little older than you.
Just
That's
a
all.
little older
smidge.
than me.
So one of the biggest moves of the offseason, obviously, was the removal of Ed Hervey.
Yeah.
Before we started,
She's
that
still hot about that.
I was going to say,
I could tell by
I don't
the
think I
answer.
need to really ask this, but what were your thoughts on the change, and how do you think it's going to affect the team?
Well, at first I didn't believe it.
Yeah, it was so close to April Fool's. So.
Yeah, well, and somebody came up to me at work like, "Did you hear?" I'm like, "What?" Like, "Oh, Ed Hervey got fired." I'm like, "Haha, whatever." He's like, "No, seriously." So I went on Twitter and I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah.
okay." And I didn't know like how to take it. And then, the more you scroll and refresh, the fans start coming out of the woodwork, and you're just like getting more enraged the more you like read stuff. And I was like, how could this happen?
Yeah.
So I was quite. I don't think I've ever been so mad with a move that the Eskimos have made. Even more so with Fred Sams, because you kind of saw that coming anyway.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But
this was totally a blindside
Oh,
move for sure. Like
completely.
for fans.
Even with Chris
yeah.
Jones, we'd had
Yeah.
rumors for like a week before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a shock, and that was tough because we've all met him a couple of times, and
Yeah.
the reasonings behind it didn't really like it. I couldn't comprehend it because the Ed Hervey that I met and talked to was not what they were saying. Like,
Right.
and he's a football guy, not a management kind of style guy. Like the marketing and all that crap, that's not his position. So to kind of use that as an excuse, like ticket sales and stuff. So you fire the guy who knows football. It was just like either stick to one story or just don't say anything at all, because it just didn't make sense to me. I get if you don't get along, but if the guy's producing, really, seriously, and the fact that, fans weren't accessible, or he wasn't accessible to fans.
Right.
The guy bloody sat with us in training camp. Like, he just came down, just sat down. He was like, "Hey, guys." And we're all just like, "Ed Hervey just came and sat with us."
I know you. I know
I know who you are.
Totally took a picture. I'm not going to lie.
I believe I saw that.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, it is a business.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't really comment on that side of things. I only see it on my side, and I'm allowed to give my opinion.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
it is biased because I did really genuinely like the guy personally and professionally. I thought he really produced, and he did really well for the Eskimos, and he hasn't even been here for that long either.
Yeah,
right. I mean,
it was-
2013 was,
Yeah,
was
that's-
that first year.
So I have some choice words for Len that I'll keep to myself for the most part.
Fair enough.
As many people, I think I haven't heard one person said that was a good move
Okay.
from the Eskimo for other teams, because they're like, ooh, maybe we can get him,
Right.
So
I think a lot of us felt the same way. I think the blow was a little less once Sunderland came in because of his experience and his background and his football knowledge, but also where he's coming from OSEG Group, which is all very fan friendly, and so it kind of meets both sides, but also
And he's not a retread, right?
Exactly.
That was what we were kind of worried
Exactly.
about. We're going to get a Brendan Tamman or a Jim Barker or
Yeah.
someone like that, and it's like, these are guys that have bounced around from team to team and team. Whereas Sunderland obviously has just been with Ottawa.
Right.
well, and it makes you think like what kind of things were going on in the background, because that was awfully quick. So he must have had some kind of connection or communication with him prior to
Something.
firing Hervey, because
Possibly.
that was
Although
just
they
really
would have to ask
quick.
permission to do that. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
just like Saskatchewan needed to ask permission to talk to Chris
Jones. Oh, good point. Yeah, I don't know what I was. Yeah, exactly. Nice air quotes.
Pseudo.
Very-
We're all pseudo over here.
Pseudo permission.
Something like that.
Oh my, that's funny. Okay, well, did you? So you went to training camp last year. Are you going this year?
Yes,
Excellent.
absolutely.
Excellent.
I wish they would give some times though. I know, like
they're
It's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the mock game, I read somewhere
It's
that it was
2:30 till 4:30
Yeah,
on the Friday.
what the heck?
Okay. I'm glad you said it. Yeah, it seems a bit odd.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
It was great last year at, 6 o'clock?
It was six or seven
It was
last
a
year, yeah.
gorgeous day, and okay. This is my issue then, that it is true, because I heard that 2:32. So if you're going to complain about getting fans in and stuff, why in God's name then would you put a mock game to try to amp up fans in the afternoon when most people work?
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of a contradiction.
I can see that. I did ask that question. I haven't had an answer quite yet. So to figure out, the one thing that I will say that I think it might have something to do with the fact that the fan day is the next day.
Right.
And fan day is from 1 till 4. And if they're going to be putting on even a bit of a scrimmage there, then they've got to have time in between the two. They can't do, and I'm thinking that might be part of the reason, but it's still, it was a little shocking to me, because I'm all set, like, it's going to be a mock game, perfect. I put it all in my calendar for 7 o'clock. I'm going to take my son. It's going to be all
Yeah.
great. And then you see the time. Oh, wait a minute. Well, I'm going to have to move a few things to make this happen.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing,
Yeah.
too. Like you say, if you're bringing kids to this, which there were a lot of kids at last year's.
Yeah.
Most of them are going to be in school. So by the
Yeah.
time they're out of school, you pick them up, you bring them here.
It's
for
over.
the game.
Over.
It's close to over, if not over at that point. So.
Yeah.
Maybe even like a Thursday evening or something, if that was the case. But yeah, I was really bummed because I don't know if I can go now, just because I have to work and stuff. So, but Sunday,
think you're coming down to
But,
Gold.
yeah, exactly.
Starting to-
Sunday and
Sunday the
Saturday.
28th, you'll be
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
awesome,
Nice.
Yeah.
perfect.
So-
Okay,
so we'll
good. That's it. That's the exciting thing. Did you have a player that you're kind of looking to have a breakout season this year?
Brian Mitchell.
Brian Mitchell. Okay, yeah.
Excellent
See,
choice.
Brian, I told you it's there for the taking, man.
Brian to Brandon.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Nice
The
picks.
2 Bs.
All right.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Excellent. So we like to ask this of all the people that come here. The Eskimo way is something that gets tossed about, and everyone has their own interpretation of what that is. So what does the Eskimo way mean to you?
Community, definitely.
Nice.
One of the things that I am so proud of this organization for is the community. Even the players, how they situate themselves within the community, doing foundations like Adarius' Autism Foundation.
Yeah.
Excellent work. Good job, Adarius. And just everything that they do in and out, like, they're very accessible. I always used to see Nate Coulthard in Kingsway Mall, and I was like,
Yeah.
I don't really want to go up and do him being like a fangirl, but I was always like, oh, hey, there's Nate. You know? So, yeah, I wish. Although he's with his wife, so that's pretty awkward.
She's really nice.
She is.
she'll
So,
laugh,
you know.
Yeah.
What's up?
As long as you didn't walk over like, how are you doing?
Yeah.
Fine.
Don't wink and blow a kiss, otherwise you're probably fine.
I don't know if I can contain myself.
Andrew does. But
I get away with it.
that's true. He's lovable that way.
Kind of.
Yeah, and even how the players really start to have a love for Edmonton as well. Like how, like we were talking earlier, Anthony and Adarius and Odell, how they were just pumped for the Oilers. Like that was really cool to see. And it's because it's not always just about hockey. It's also about the relationship with the fans and the community and just being involved in stuff. So
absolutely.
Yeah, I definitely would say that's, to me.
That's a great answer. That's
Absolutely.
fantastic. That's awesome. Well, we're going to have more with you as we go forward here, but we need to find out a little bit more, go back with more of the Eskimo way. So it is time for this week's Eskimos History segment.
Let's hear you cheer and holler for a mighty famous team. Let's hear you roar, you know what, for a team that's on the beat. Our voices rise up to the skies, the fans are glad to scream. We love those Eskimos.
Welcome to This Week in Eskimos History. This week we will talk about some significant Eskimo-related dates from May 17th to May 30th as we ramp up to the 2017 training camp beginning in just 1.5 weeks.
Woohoo!
Some significant birthdays in the second half of May include, on May 17th, Blake Marshall, running back fullback from 1987 to 1993, turns 52. May 20th, Frank Morris, guard from 1950 to 58, would have been 94. And on May 23rd, a personal favorite, Brett the Toaster Williams, from 1988 to 1990, turns 59. Eskimos who have had their anniversary of passing during this time, May 20th, 2006. Original head coach, field goal kicker, and promoter Anis Duchess passed away at the age of 91. Joining the team on February 22nd, 1949, Big Stuke came to the Eskimos not only as a 12-year former player, but also as a journalist, as he was a football columnist for the Toronto Daily Star newspaper, where he would weave stories on the games he had played for the Toronto Argonauts. He is said to have begun game reports with, "Well, what can I tell you, folks? I was great." Stukas was crucial to the success of the Eskimo rebirth in 1949, as he spent the majority of his non-playing time drumming up support across the province for the new professional football team in the Alberta capital, and helped lure players to the team such as future Hall of Famers Frank Morris, Bill Zock, Rolling Miles, Normie Kwong, and others. Known as the loquacious Lithuanian, Stuke also took on the role of kicker for the team beginning in 1950 and purposely wore his expensive wristwatch when taking kicks, as he told the players that it was up to them to make sure it never got damaged. He scored a respectable 96 points in his 2 years as kicker, all while promoting and coaching the fledgling team, and established a team that would become a flagship of the Western Interprovincial Football Union and later Canadian Football League. Looking at some other important dates in the Empire, May 27th, 2002. After a recommendation from former Eskimo quarterback Rick Warman, Edmonton signs free agent quarterback out of Sacramento State, Ricky Ray, who goes into training camp as the fourth-string quarterback, working his way up to starter after an injury to Jason Moss in Game 4 of the season, and never really looked back. Ray took the Eskimos to the Grey Cup in his rookie season and followed it up with a win in 2003 before taking a year on the New York Jets practice roster in the NFL. Ray returned to the Eskimos in 2005 and again helped bring the team a championship to cement his legacy with the Green and Gold faithful. May 18th, 2006, Bruce Beaton and Chris Morris retire after a combined 22 years as Edmonton Eskimo offensive linemen. Beaton had retired 2 years previous after winning the 2003 Grey Cup, but was coaxed out of retirement for the 2005 season, where he won his second Grey Cup. He was a 5-time CFL West All-Star and had an Eastern All-Star win previous to his time in Green and Gold. Chris Morris was a 3-time Grey Cup champion with the Eskimos over a career that saw him play 237 games on the Eskimo offensive line, the fourth most games played of any Edmonton Eskimo. A few other dates in this range. May 20th, 1954, Edmonton signs split T phenom quarterback Bernie Filoni. May 28th, 1980, Edmonton trades 9-year quarterback Bruce Lemmerman to Hamilton for running back fullback Neil Lumsden. May 21st, 1998, Eskimos sign linebacker A.J. Gass out of Fresno State College. May 22nd, 2004, receiver Darryl Mookie Mitchell signs with the Green and Gold. And a little closer to recent time, May 17th, 2011, Edmonton signs defensive tackle Armando Sewell. May 29th, 2013, Defensive back Aaron Grimes signs with the Edmonton Eskimos. And May 30th, 2016, this may ring a little bell, the Eskimos signed free agent receiver Brandon Zylstra. Thank you again for listening to another episode of This Week in Eskimos History. Please follow us on Twitter at Esks History or find us on Facebook under This Day in Esks History. Until next week, fight on Eskimos.
Going for a touchdown. Going for a touchdown. Going for a touchdown. We love those Eskimos.
Oh, that was wonderful, Superfan. That was good. Let's bump up to this past week's Esks news.
A little more recent history.
Just very recent. Yeah, exactly. So the Esks did sign offensive lineman Colin Kelly, which came out right after we recorded last week.
Yeah.
Of course, he was with the Red Blacks before. And he, of course, is going to put a challenge on those international tackles that we've got going on between Joey Figgs and, of course, Tony Washington and now Colin Kelly. So it'll be a very interesting training camp battle going on there.
Right.
For sure.
They actually might have signed another offensive lineman as well in the last week, or announced another signing. So.
Exactly. So now the Esks signed 22 more players.
Yeah, they announced them anyway. Yeah.
They announced them all. Yeah, exactly. That's true. They announced the signings. Who knows how long the signings have been there. A couple obviously were longer, like DJ Lalama, which we knew he was returning in,
absolutely.
What was it? January?
Yeah.
So he, of course, was a draft pick last year, Canadian linebacker.
Went back to school, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So good to have him back. Danny O'Brien in at quarterback for another quarterback arm, and of course coming out of Ottawa as well, so Moss knows him. Darius Morris is back, returning
Practice
international
roster guy
offensive line. Yep, and great dude. I met him a couple of times. Really, really nice guy. Solomon Means also returning as an international defensive back. Couple of notables on that first list that came out. International defensive lineman Daquan Bowers.
Yeah, it's something to watch.
Exactly. He has NFL experience with Tampa Bay, and he was a second-round pick, actually, in the NFL. But he kind of ran into some issues with a weapons charge at an airport. And is now looking to come back into football. But the guy, if you watch his video, oh my goodness, yeah, he can get there quick.
As our friend Uncle BD pointed out, so I guess that means we had a trade for Darrell Walker for Bowers. So that actually worked out maybe not too bad.
That might not have worked out too bad, exactly. Now, international wide receiver Larry Cobb as well is supposed to be a great player. I watched some of his highlight reels just on YouTube, that type of thing. Guy's got breakout speed and big playability. So, and one of the parts of it is, this you probably think would be really cool. So he's lying down on his stomach, and then he would reach up and catch a ball one-handed while he's lying on his stomach. And of course, then, was that yesterday? I believe it was yesterday they announced that they did sign Canadian running back Johnny Augustine.
Yeah, undrafted this year, which is a total surprise.
Unreal, but
got some skills, that guy.
We shall see. I mean, the biggest thing, and Kayla, we were talking about this before we started recording, but the guy has a black belt in karate,
right?
And at the combine, he was blocking guys twice his size and doing very, very well. So
yeah, I mean, he's listed as air quotes 5'8",
yeah,
and 202 pounds, so he's an inch taller than Juan Blanco,
of course. But I mean, the kid is ripped, and he's definitely got some focus if you're that good at karate.
Yeah. That's going to be so exciting to watch in training camp.
Yeah.
Like, I'm wondering if even on special teams, if he's blocking, like, it's a good place to start, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no real experience on specials, so it'll be interesting to see how he adapts, but we'll see.
Got to start somewhere.
Yep.
Yeah. Can't have experience until you start somewhere.
Yeah.
We had several people as well that had minicamp invites. I don't believe any of them signed. I know Nate Bahar didn't sign with the Giants.
No, and Kwaku did not sign with the Bears.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a couple of those guys will be coming this way.
Exactly.
Now, they're non-counters, too, so we can have those over and above that 75-player list. So What do you think they'll end up with? Somewhere around 83, 84 players?
Yeah, which is, it's a lot of people.
It is, especially when you have to cut down. Yeah. I'm going to need a program.
Yeah, 84.5 is his number.
Yeah, exactly. 84.5. Still nobody gets one. That's right. Yeah.
No one gets one, no one gets 0, and no one gets 21.
That's right. Yeah.
Simple rules. Well, one of the Canadian quarterbacks will get 21.
You think?
They usually, that's what he does.
Is that what they do? They do, okay.
Dwayne he's not going to hand it out. It belongs to Don Warrington and forever will belong to Don Warrington. So.
Right. Yeah, so that's a nice touch. Then, there's 21 on the field, but it's not going to stick.
Right.
Got it. Okay, perfect. Now, the AGM was last week.
Right.
Eskimos say again that they posted a $1.4 million profit, so that is good for the team, which they now reinvest a lot of that into, of course, the stadium and to trying to find new, different ways to bring people to the games. Now, the Eskimos are doing a couple of different things. They did announce that with the 3-game flex packs that are going to start $99
for a bronze seat.
Pick whichever 3 games you want to go to.
Yep.
So that's kind of it's kind of a neat promotion. I don't mind that one at all. They are going to have a college corner. They're $28 tickets, right? So again, is that a little high? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think so.
You think so? Yeah,
I do. Just because I was a college student for so long, and $28, you're like, I could buy groceries.
I gotta buy groceries.
That's a lot of mac and cheese.
That's 2 beer at Rogers. I'm just saying.
It's a good point. It's a good point.
But the end zone should be open, I think. If that's going to create a little bit of revenue. I know people like to toss their beers down those little flags to see who can go the furthest. Right. It's a fun game. I know.
There's no beer snake in Winnipeg.
No, this is true. That's true. It's not a beer snake. Yeah.
But it's stuff like that, and maybe try not to do such gimmicky things. We're not the NFL. I don't want it to be the NFL.
Exactly.
The whole miking up thing, I hated it. It was really distracting watching the game, and I'm just like, shh. I'm trying to listen because the commentators and the players would overlap and the coaches would overlap. Sure. So that, to me, wasn't enjoyable at all. I want one or the other. I'm either here to listen to the commentators, watch the game on TV, or I'm at the live game and you kind of get to hear your own commentators. But just don't get so gimmicky. Mm-hmm. It's kind of be organic, like you said, bringing people in and stuff. And I wish I had the answer, like I said, but just let it happen organically. I think cheap tickets are going to be the first step, to be honest, because I don't go to hockey games for that reason. I can't afford those games.
Who can?
Yeah. Well, apparently everyone, they sell out. So.
Yeah. Well, they sell it, but it's also 18,000 seats versus Commonwealth.
True.
Very
true. Very true.
Not 60 anymore.
Oh.
Not with the seat upgrades. With
that's right. Yes. Seats. That's right. Yeah.
And the higher, way, way high up, they shouldn't be $40 bucks. I mean, it's a struggle to get up there. It's fantastic views. Yeah. But it's a struggle, so.
It is a little tough to get up there, right?
Yeah. I like being where I am. A little lower.
Yeah. No kidding.
A little lower.
Not all of us have the same money as Superfan. Yeah, okay.
I don't know what this money stuff is you're talking about.
I don't know.
But I'm like, I can do a little college mac and cheese for afford my tickets.
Nice. All right. Well, then so we kind of covered that. Now, training camp dates. We talked a little bit about it already. Of course, it opens May 28th. Those times are still to be announced. We're still waiting on that.
The times,
live scrimmage or the mock game will be on June the 2nd, which is a Friday, and that will be from 2:30 until 4:30. And Fan Day is Saturday, June 3rd at Clark Park from 1 until 4. So
it's a Commonwealth.
Is it Commonwealth?
Oh, yeah,
I thought I saw it was
a
at Clark.
Yeah.
Nope, it was announced it's a Commonwealth.
All right.
That's exciting.
That's interesting. Yeah. Excellent. Well, that's very exciting. So, and yay, we're right about there. Okay, let's take a really short break, and then we will be right back with our CFL news. Of course, Christina Litz is going to join us as well, and of course, the final Esks by the Numbers. We'll be right back after this.
Hi, this is Tom Richards, and you're listening to the Eskimo Empire Podcast.
Hey guys, do you know there's even more ways to interact with the Empire online?
What?
That's right. You can find us on Twitter at EskEmpirePod, on Facebook under the Eskimo Empire Podcast group, on Instagram at EskEmpirePod, and you can also follow us on YouTube under our channel, the Eskimo Empire Podcast. Now, I know you guys like that Eskimo History segment, right? Yeah! You can follow more of that information at Esks History on Twitter, and you can find it on This Day in Esks History on Facebook. Don't forget to share, okay? Okay! Thanks so much for listening. Let's get back to the show. Patreon, patreon.com/EskEmpirePod. Many thanks. We have a new patron to John, who has joined on. And
thank you, John.
And thanks for helping the show out. We very much appreciate it. Of course, all of our Hall of Famers, Joe, Jedi, and Hippie. And we're almost now at that second goal. So we released the full-length Andrew Nowacki episode on there. We've got, of course, Dave Jameson is on there now as well. So couple bucks a month, really not a whole lot, and you get access to all of those full-length interviews.
Yeah. It really helps us a lot for sure, and I think there's a lot of benefit to the fans as well that can afford it. So
yeah, well, and the thing is we always just wanted to look at a spot where, okay, all the downloads are the main part. I mean, that's super helpful, listening to the show, and of course reviewing on iTunes and Google Play where you can, all those things, those are major help. But for those people who wanted to do a little bit more, then we want to give a little bit back too.
Yes.
And so this is a great place to do it. And it really helps us as we're trying to, like I said, we're ramping up for tailgating. Now we've got things like stickers and other new exciting things that are coming soon. So make sure you stay tuned. More Empire Pod fun things, even the shirts, right? Like that's another thing. So if you can help out, we'd really appreciate it. Again, follow us, patreon.com/EskEmpirePod. Let us get to our CFL news. Now, before we get to our CFL news that we wanted to talk about around the league, we got a very, very special guest. We were able to speak about the Bring It In campaign in and around things, so we thought we'd get a different perspective. So let's bring in the Senior VP of Marketing and Content from the CFL. Welcome to the Turf District, Christina Litz. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, guys. How are you doing?
Doing very, very well. Thank you for coming in. This is fantastic. You had a little bit of a conference call with us there a couple of weeks ago talking about the Bring It In campaign right before the wonderful ad started. And we'd just like to kind of get from you guys, tell us a bit about how that campaign came about and kind of what you thought about it to start.
Okay, great. Yeah, I mean, really this campaign is an extension of the campaign that we started last year at the CFL with the What We're Made Of campaign, which really kicked off our new brand positioning in Canada. And What We're Made Of was really a campaign directed at casual fans who we see interacting with the league a lot during playoffs and Grey Cup. And through our research and the work we had done leading up to it, we felt that speaking to this casual fan was the best way to increase our fandom throughout the season. And the good news was we had a lot of things to talk about the casual fan. As you guys know, the teams have been working really hard to improve that fan experience, whether it be things that they're doing in the game to make it, the most fun time of the week, or the investments that some of the teams have put into their stadiums. There was that, as well as a refreshed look at things like digital, exciting rules that were opening up in the game that we wanted to tell fans about. So What We're Made Of was all about that. It was to tell the country what was new and exciting and fun about the CFL in a modern way across platforms. And Bring It In is the logical extension of that. The only difference being that this year is a special year in Canada, as you know, and it's Canada 150, and that had us at the league office really thinking about the part that football has played in Canada's history. It's inspired communities to unite around their team and the Grey Cup, it being the ultimate symbol of Canadians' ability to come together. And so, when we started talking about this year, we knew we wanted to capture the CFL's ability to bring Canadians every weekend and especially in November together. So that was what Bring It In was about. It is centered around imagery about the huddle and really celebrating the differences that make a football team stronger, but also we believe is what is really the discussion around Canada 150 this year. So that's what we're doing, and it's an invitation. It's an invocation to Canadians to come and continue, interacting with the CFL, especially in this Canada 150 year.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Andrew and I saw the ad back in that conference call, and both thought it was fantastic. Just the real sense of inclusion within the ad itself, and I think it married with the music perfectly. How has the feedback been so far?
Well, it's just the beginning, right? So we released the brand spot over that weekend a couple weeks ago, and from all accounts, the feedback from both our fans that are so loyal to the CFL and we think with new fans has been great. We've seen nothing but positive comments in social media. But really, this is the beginning of our campaign. We wanted to give a bit of a sneak preview a couple weeks ago when we had the opportunity to air the spot, not only during our draft, but during the Raptors playoffs, which we think gets the brand in front of some new fans. Mm-hmm. But we're really just beginning, and we're going to ramp up in June 1, ourselves and CFN and RDS. We're all going to be talking about Bring It In, and you'll see a lot more of that ad, as well as a lot of social media and storytelling around that's going to lead right through week 2 when we are really going to celebrate Canada 150 with all of the games that are happening that week.
Oh man, that sounds awesome and exciting. That's we love to hear that as fans ourselves, for sure. So now the themes that I found in the ad were like Mike said, it's a lot about inclusion, but in football and even in just partnerships and things like that. So let's go just to go back a little bit for people who don't kind of know you a little bit. But how did you get into football in the CFL?
Well, I am born and raised a football fan. I'm from Winnipeg. Don't hold that against me.
We won't. Yeah.
I mean, when you grow up in that part of Canada, CFL is kind of in your DNA, and certainly was for myself and my family. My dad was a season ticket holder. It was a way that our family came together and bonded and have fun. And I don't know that I paid attention to the gritty details of the game until I became a little older. Actually, when we moved to Toronto, there's nothing more bonding when you first moved to Toronto than to find your fellow CFL fans in the city. And so we'd go to a lot of games here. And then, I've been with the league for the last 3 years, and it's been truly a dream come true. I mean, CFL, just for me, it's just such an honor to be working in a league that's been so important to not only the history of sports in Canada, but history generally. So I take that and the people that I work with take that very seriously. And so, that's been my experience. And gosh, it's just a privilege to get to be able to do what I do every day. And I feel really blessed about it.
Well, I mean, we certainly love history here for sure. So that's great. Speaking about inclusion, though, another part where people are being more included this year, especially, were the Combine and CFL Week. We didn't get a chance to go, but everything we read and saw on Twitter and everything else was extremely positive. So is there going to be another event like that next year?
Yeah, so what you're talking about is March CFL Week, and which included National Combine, but it also included a whole bunch of other events. We did a big fan festival in Saskatchewan this year, and we had media come from all across the country. A lot of your fellow podcasters were there as well.
Absolutely.
And it was a huge success. I think exceeded everybody's expectations. We sort of had this crazy idea about 18 months ago, or actually it's been about 2 years now, where, we were really hearing from the fans that they wanted to be engaging, and you guys know this with the league, 12 months a year, and it's difficult sometimes, but what we also knew is we had a number of things in the football operations calendar we have to do, and so we thought, what if we put that together with a media shoot that we do now with TSN and RDS, which brings in all current players. We had about 55 players come to Saskatchewan that week to do a bunch of media, to do a bunch of photos and videos for the season. And what if we layered a fan fest on top of that? And boy, it shouldn't surprise you guys, but the fans showed up in droves. Yeah. We're absolutely going to do it again. I hope this is the beginning of a long new tradition, and I hope you guys come out next year.
That is the plan.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is the plan for sure. Now, of course, we, as much as you guys as well, want people to bring it in and, of course, be part of the CFL, especially in the stadiums. And I know we call our little huddle, if you want to call it that, the CFL podcast family. But what's your favorite part of being in the CFL community?
Just everybody belongs, right? Like there's a place, no matter your fandom. You know what's so special? What I just love, and there's no other event like Grey Cup where it doesn't matter. Yeah. It matters little who's actually in the Grey Cup. The whole country comes together and wears their colors and cheers on their teams. And although there's always a healthy rivalry once the season gets going, there's also this friendship and bond amongst people who this has been just such a part of their life and their good times. And gosh, I don't think there's anything like that, for sure not in sports, but at all. So I love that, and I love that in my experience there has been just a spirit of inclusiveness to welcome new fans, young fans, kids, all of that. I see it every time that I go to a stadium. There's no closed club. Like there's no there's no section that doesn't want more fans and doesn't want more people being involved. So that's my favorite thing. I just it's just a good time, and there's really a place for every kind of fan in the CFL.
Outstanding.
Oh, I love hearing that message too. Obviously, we're ramping up towards training camp in the next couple of weeks. So, other than that, are there any other exciting things on the horizon for the CFL, like daily fantasy and things like that?
Yeah, for sure. So as we ramp up to the beginning of our season, a whole bunch of things are happening. Today, for example, we just relaunched the CFL and LCF websites with a new homepage, which is really, part of the ongoing investment that the league and the owners and community teams are making in digital platforms. As you guys know, we redid our stat system last year that has opened up the ability to do a whole bunch of things we weren't able to do before, whether it be a real-time game tracker, the new app that we launched last year, or fantasy. And
you said the magic word.
What's happened, that will continue to happen throughout the season. Fantasy is another area that I think, and I hope you've seen us start to lean into in a way that I think we maybe should have done a little while back. But again, with the support of our teams, we're going heavier. So a few years ago, we launched the Pick'em game, and that one keeps growing, and it's a great way for people who don't know a lot about the game, but want to get involved and have fun with their friends to get involved. And even in the off season, we've seen tremendous growth and sign up. So that's there. And you guys know about our partnership with DraftKings that we launched this year.
Yes.
In the next couple of weeks, we'll be making another announcement about our investment with fantasy that I think everybody will be excited about. So look out for that, and hopefully we'll give you guys a bit of a sneak preview into that in the next week or so. So that's coming, and then there'll be some other products that we're going to be releasing. We've obviously talked about how much we want to be in the video gaming space, how much that is important to us. We're going to continue our relationship with EA on the mobile Madden front, which was a huge success for us last year from a numbers and usage point of view. And later on this season, actually, it's not even going to be that later. In July, we'll have something else to release on the video game front. Not a console game. So we're not there yet, but a really fun game that I think is going to be particularly great for kids and trying to speak their language and get them engaged on platforms that they're doing. And, content, again, continues to be hugely important, and there's only more of that. This year, you guys would have known Chris O'Leary from the Journal, who is now on staff with us and telling some amazing stories. That's going to continue, and more video, more Brody and Max, more social content. There's a little bit of everything for everyone. But the good news is we just continue to do this, and they understand how important it is for us to keep not take our foot off the brakes. We saw some tremendous signs in the positive direction last year, and we got to keep pushing it and not take the position that we have in this country for granted.
Oh, that's fantastic. Some of those things sound so exciting, and I mean, like Mike said, here we are getting close to training camp, and we're all getting fired up about that. And then you guys keep giving us all this new news of stuff that's coming, and it's like, oh, we're just like little kids all over again. It's fantastic.
It's Christmas.
Exactly. Yeah, it's better than Christmas.
It feels like that in the office too.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Perfect. Well, Christina, thank you so much for coming on the show to talk about the promos and the stuff that's coming up. Where do people kind of find you in and around social and all those types of things?
Well, yeah, you can find me. I made the unfortunate decision to put the year of my birth in my Twitter handle, so pretend you don't see that. But I'm at Litz72 on Twitter, and I try to be there to tweet a lot of CFL stuff and some other things that are on my mind. But at Litz72 on Twitter.
That's okay. You're speaking with people who understand that all too well. That's
just a youngster.
That's right. Yeah, you're just a youngster. Exactly.
Well, thing won't go anywhere. Don't worry about it.
Well, thank you again. We're really looking forward to catching up with you as the year goes through, and of course being at Grey Cup and celebrating this Canada 150 all throughout the year. Thanks again for everything you guys are doing, and we're looking forward to hearing from you more as we get into the season.
Well, and thank you guys for all the work that you're doing to keep people interested and excited about the league. We really appreciate it, and we hope we can deepen that relationship with our podcast community throughout the season.
Sounds great to me. All right, well, that was amazing, Superfan.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, it was really, really nice to have her come on the show and talk about that perspective from the CFL. So, of course, like she said, follow her at Litz72, and she's very fun and, of course, easy to talk to, and lots of CFL information coming out. So.
Exactly.
So, CFL news around the league. Of course, the Red Blacks signed our little guy, Pinbell, which, I mean, you know what? Hey, I wish him all the best. Pinbell's not only a great player, but super dude. Really, really nice and he's going to fit right in Ottawa.
Yeah, I mean, we're obviously very disappointed he wasn't coming back to the green and gold. He made an immediate impact with a lot of fans. I actually saw a lot of 33 jerseys around.
Absolutely.
So it's disappointing, but when you already have an incumbent in John White, he wasn't going to get any starting time there. He's got a shot to at least be the starter and carry that load. So great for him, and he didn't go to Saskatchewan. So Calgary,
exactly,
so
it could have been worse.
All the better.
Yeah,
all the better.
Could have been worse. Ottawa's all right. Decent.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Did you ever get a chance to meet Pinbell?
No.
Okay.
No.
He's just a really nice dude. So I'm happy for him.
He's also 5'7".
Air quotes. Yeah. Also in CFL news, the Riders did trade and get Mike Edom from the Lions for a conditional pick.
Actually, they swapped conditional picks.
Exactly, yeah. So it's very interesting how that one...
So it's basically free.
So basically here you can have our player for nothing?
Yeah, it was strange.
How does that work?
Odd.
So
yeah.
it was Mike
they
Edom and a
attached
conditional pick for a conditional pick.
for a conditional pick. So I'm not sure how that all plays out, but anyway, Mike Edom is now
Might be a
going
different
to
round, right? So
yeah, he's going to go and compete there against, of course, Marc-Olivier Brouillette.
Right.
So that's an interesting battle. If nothing else, then they have a backup in a Canadian backup on safety.
right.
Right. So now they have their safety time all together. All right, Superfan, it is time. It is time for the final round of Esks by the Numbers.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
The last round of the Esks by the Numbers is finally upon us.
Oh, my.
18 weeks ago, we asked you to vote in the first round of numbers for your favorite Edmonton Eskimo players by each number, and the response has been absolutely overwhelming. We can't thank everyone enough for participating, sharing the link, talking with us online and in person about players you loved, and some memories that came flooding back to you. Again, thank you very much. So now, onto the final set of numbers 90 through 99. At number 90, current Eskimo defensive tackle Armando Sewell with 85%.
Kind of figured. Yeah.
Defensive end Greg Peach edging out 1954 quarterback Bernie Filoni for second place by a single vote. At number 91, probably not going to be a surprise to anybody, legendary quarterback, halfback, defensive back, kick returner, kicker, and punter. He did everything but sell tickets. Jackie Parker easily took this one with a surprising only 86%.
There were people that voted for somebody other than Jackie Parker.
It's true. Marcus
Did
Howard
you
had
revoke their card, their Eskimo card at that moment? Or?
Marcus Howard had 8% for second place.
Well,
so
all right, fine.
he's got lots of fans there. So I know that Miss Pam definitely voted for him, with apologies to Jackie. At number 92, Rob Brown, defensive line in the late 90s and again in the mid-2000s, won with 56.5%. While 80s defensive tackle James Zachary had a respectable 28% to clinch the runner-up spot. At number 93, recent defensive lineman Don Oramacion with a silent woo easily took this one with over 3/4 of all fan votes, while mid-50s halfback kick returner Glenn Keeper McWhinney had second with a distant 10%.
I am shocked that a nickname was in second place.
I know, hard to believe.
Odd. Usually the nick. Well, we did
silent woo.
And it's all about Obsidian.
It's true.
That's right.
At number 94, it was a close battle between defensive lineman Doug Peterson and Ted Laurent, as they had a back-and-forth struggle between the two until the former emerged victorious. Doug Peterson won by 7 votes.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. At number 95, in no surprise to any, I am sure, another legend and Hall of Famer, the China Clipper Normie Kwong, ran away with this one, garnering every vote except for one.
Really?
Cast for Gregory Alexandra, who came in second.
Did Gregory Alexandra vote?
I almost think.
I hope so.
He did, but he voted for Normie Kwong. In a tight 3-way race, at number 96, Brandon Lang won the vote with 33% of all fan votes.
Whoa.
So just a third voted for him to win. While Jabari Issa and Dee Sterling tied for second with 28% each. Very close in this one.
Very close one.
At number 97, Rashad Genty was the fan favorite, with taking in just over 50% of all fan votes, while recent Eskimo Eddie Steele captured 34%. Number 98, the third player from the 83 Eskimo Wall of Honor inductees, Rolly Miles grabbed 93% of all fan votes, while Steve Charbonneau finished in second with just under 6%. And lastly, number 99, another recent Eskimo took this one, as 2015 Grey Cup champion Willie Jefferson had 59% of all fan voting.
Half a season.
Yeah.
And he, not surprising though, he played so well. He made a major impression. Yeah.
And Sheldon Benoit was a runner-up with about 1 out of every 5 fan votes there.
Okay.
And even 20%. So we, of course, have been running this in parallel with the media and podcasters vote. So we had a separate poll that was only voted on by Andrew and myself. We had a few of the former co-hosts with Doug, Josh, and Uncle BD. We had about 4 people from the media as well. So in that one, it was pretty much the same, except number 96, while Brandon Lang did take this one, Jabari Issa took 2/3 of the media votes for the media one. So, while the other third was split evenly between Lang, D. Sterling, and Cedric Scott. So
interesting. Okay.
Basically, that was a bit of a switch. Number 97, Rashad Genty, still took this one. But in second place, it was the CFL's first ever Shenley Award winner for Most Outstanding Player. Billy Vessels came in second by just 1 vote. At number 99, again, lastly, this one was also won by Willie Jefferson. But 1950s quarterback Claude Arnold was the runner-up for this one. Maybe talking about he was the first quarterback in Eskimos in the Grey Cup in 52. So that might have had something to it. But anyway, that's all the voting. So thank you to everyone who participated in the last 4 months of voting as we went through those numbers 1 through 99 for your favorite players. We had a ton of great fun and hope you did too. So in 2 weeks' time, we're going to be drawing a grand prize. So for every time you voted, it counts as a single entry in the grand prize draw. So if you voted in all 10 rounds, you get 10 entries into the grand prize drawing, which will be announced in 2 weeks. So thank you again to everyone. And we look forward to a new series coming next offseason.
Absolutely. Yeah. And thank you for all your work on this.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
You did a lot of work on this and it was amazing. I think even if we redid this in 5 years' time, some of those guys might change.
Yes.
Some of them aren't going to for sure, but some would.
Yeah, I mean,
and it's kind of interesting.
And a great example is number 13, Larry Highball won, who of course just passed away. Mike Riley was in second. In 5 years, I could see that definitely flipping.
Absolutely. And number 2 will be James. No, I'm kidding.
Number 2 will always be Gizmo
Williams. Yeah, but 14. I mean, come on.
14.
Come on.
But unfortunately, he'll probably be listed on number 2 because he'll have worn it longer.
But that's really
Touch wood.
That's really not.
You can cheat.
Touch
it's your
wood.
system.
I know. He always gets my vote. That's right.
You can be a write-in vote under every number.
Every number. Yeah. But I think the whole thing was fun, though.
Yeah, that is really cool.
And having the list will be neat.
So,
all right. Well, thank you again, Superfans. So, all right. Well, guys, we've reached the end of the show. Kayla, thank you so much for coming down and sharing your stories and having some laughs with us. This is a lot of fun.
Not too painful, we hope.
No, it was a lot of fun.
Good.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I learned a lot.
Good. See, we can pay her now. She's
That's
right there.
right.
Okay. That's what the Patreon's for. So, where does everybody find you online? Where do they connect with you? All those types of things.
At Duchess Lombardi on Twitter.
Yes.
And sometimes I'll post my Instagram, so you can just look out for that. But I like to keep that a little.
No, that's perfectly fine. That's great. Yeah. So Duchess Lombardi is where we first met. So that's the best part to find you. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I kind of reserve Twitter for sports.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's
Excellent.
why I got on Twitter. It was just to connect with sports fans. So
it worked out really well. Yeah.
It worked very well. Yeah. Yeah.
It's awesome. Superfan?
They find me at 56 Parkies and then again at Esks History.
Perfect. And you can find us at Esk Empire Pod and, of course, myself at Freepilicious, FREEPILICIOUS.
Oh, it's been a while.
How's that, eh? I can rattle that off pretty quickly.
Without singing.
I know. It's not crazy.
That's coming up.
It's the next one I got to work on. Anyway, reminder again that Westivus kickoff is May 26th at 6 p.m. at First Round downtown. That's 112th Street and 104th Avenue. We will be there for most of the evening, and it's just open house. So come by, join your fellow Empire, and let's get a chance to chat and get ready for training camp that opens 2 days later.
Thank goodness.
Oh, dancing in the Turf District. We will be back next week. A very special guest is we're going to be joined by Esks Stadium announcer Al Stafford.
Yeah.
So he'll have a few stories for us, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure.
And then, of course, the next week after that, it will be training camp. And we are going to have a return fan in our good friend Paul Reckner coming back in, talk about the first 2 days of camp, and we will be awarding the inaugural Jimmy Gaines Award, because that'll be the person who basically impressed us the most the first 2 days of camp. So
that sounds good.
That will happen in a couple of weeks. So, are we excited to see a bunch of you at Westivus?
Absolutely.
Are we, as one empire, ready for camp to open?
Absolutely.
For Her Highness Duchess Lombardi, for Superfan Mike, I'm Andrew. Remember, you can't catch footballs with your face, and we will absolutely talk to you next week.